Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have another interesting video for you. Okay, I'm going to show you how to size up or modify your last. Okay, so in our previous videos I taught you how you can measure your feet or your client's feet, and then I think I kind of touched a little about sizing up your last, and some people have questions. Basically, I'm going to show you how to take your last from this to this. Okay, you can see the difference, so let's get right into it. First, we start with measuring your feet or your client's feet. Okay, and we measured the ball points, we measured the waist, we measured the instep. Okay, and we also got the height. And I want you to understand something, that sometimes you would have to measure both feet so you are able to know the feet that is bigger, or the foot that is bigger, excuse me, because some people's right foot might be bigger than the left foot, some people's left foot might be bigger than the right foot. Okay, so you need to know the one that is bigger, and then you use the one that is bigger or longer. Anyway, so as you can see, this last is very small, too small for this size that we want to make. And I want to show you how you can modify your last, how you can size up your last. Please stay to the end of this video, I beg you. Okay, there are a lot of informations that you do not want to miss out on. Okay, please try to stay to the end of the video. I tried my best to make this video as short as I possibly could. Okay, so obviously you measure your last and you see that, well, this last was the ball point was way smaller than the ball point of the feet. The instep was also smaller, so I had to do everything. And then of course we have the length. Okay, the length of the last is smaller than the feet length that will be calculated for this person. So basically I just want to add to the balls. Okay, I just want to add to the ball points, ball joints, and possibly increase the length of this. I'm going to be using a mako or an EVA foam, whatever you call it, and I'm just going to cut out strips. You are not limited to use just an EVA foam. You can use a vegetable tanned leather. You can use that because it's actually very strong. I am using a mako because it's actually easy. So I want to show you guys something. You see this point here, it is called the break, and you can just start applying your gum or applying whatever you are using from that break point upward. Okay, or from the break point downward. I'm going to show you and speak on that later in the video, so stay tuned. Please stay tuned. Anyway, so I'm applying gum on the last and on the EVA foam that I'll be using to modify this last. Okay, it is easier it is easier to size up your last than it is easier than to size down. I don't know if that makes sense, because most materials that your last is made of is super strong plastic. Okay, if you want to start sizing down, you will be there for days. Okay, so it's easier for you to size up than for you to size down. So I'm basically just applying the EVA foam. I applied gum on the last and I applied gum on the EVA foam, do not forget. Okay, and then I'm just going to slip it through. So I started it from the feather edge, just like the way you're saying, at the back, making sure that it's at least, I did my best to make sure that it is the same, on the same side of the feather edge, or the same level. And then I'm cutting off the excess, or it might be even difficult for you to bend, but you know, with EVA foam is like soft, so it's easy for you to manipulate. And then I go in with the hammer. Okay, just go around with the hammer, and you can cut off whatever excess is at your feather edge, which is this point I'm cutting out now, because we want it to be on the same level as the last. And then the next step is to skive down whatever material you're using. So whether your leather or your EVA foam, whatever material you choose to use, you skive it down. You can also do this with your bench grinder or your filing machine, whatever thing you have. Okay, I just wanted to show you just how it goes. Sometimes I do this with my bench grinder and it's easier and fast, but I just want to show you what it takes. So these are two different grades of sandpaper. This is the rough one. I'm just going in with the rough one to make it faster, you know. After going in with the rough one, I'm going to go in with the smooth one just to make sure that everything is smooth. We do not want any bumps. We don't want any bumps. It is important that you do not have bumps, okay? Because you are trying to replicate your last kind of, or replicate the material that your last is made of. So we still want to maintain some form of quality to it. So we do not want any bumps. We want it to be straight. And then I sped up this video, but I was taking my time to sand this EVA foam down. Okay, it takes time. This whole process took a lot of time, and it will take you time, and you need to take time. It's not something that you can just hurry and do. Please do not hurry and do this thing, okay? Because you need to also be measuring as you go. You need to be looking at it. It's something you need to take your time to do. You need to take a great deal of time, okay? And then you see this part, this is towards the ball of the media side of my last, and I'm just going to add a little because the one I started with wasn't long enough, so I just want to add a little. Okay, so just a little bit of recap. We are adding to the ball points of this, and then don't forget that we measure the ball points, measure the waist, which is the beginning of this little curve that is on that. We spoke about it in the last video. Okay, so that is your waist, and then the instep. Okay, that is basically what you measure. I'm just doing a quick recap. Okay, now that the gum that we rubbed, that we applied, the adhesive is dried, I'm going to go again. I just did a little bit of this because remember I told you that it's just going to end just a little bit further down, a little bit longer than your ball point, because if you do it exactly on your ball point and then by the time you sand it down, it is going to be very small. Okay, so you need to do it just a little bit, about a centimeter longer than your ball point, so that by the time you have skived and filed down everything, you will get the exact point that you need. So yeah, you know the drill by now. We skive what we can and then we sand the rest down. Okay, take your time. Like I said, I had to speed this video, but I'm just showing you like a little bit real time right now. Like I just want to show you just how slow I was going. Okay, I was going slow. This part is even still a little bit sped up. I had to speed this part up a little, but this is like a little, like it will give you an idea of how slow I was going. And by the time I'm done with that, I'm going to measure to check if I've gotten to the desired ball point. You can also call this a vamp line. Okay, if I've gotten to that desired part, if it's the same as the foot I drew, but I still haven't gotten there, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. And before adding that, I'm just going to smoothen everything, and then just smoothing everything so that it's easier when I add the other one. Again, there is no measurement for this. Okay, there is no measurement for cutting out the straps of whatever material you are using. You just need to know what you want. Basically, you're still going to cut most of it away anyway. You're still going to cut most of it off, Okay, so I'm applying gum, and I'm also going to apply on the strips that I cut out. You can decide to use about an inch for your strip measurement if you really want a measurement, but there really isn't. Okay, it's just a little strip that you need, or a long one, but you're still going to cut off most of it, and you apply again just the way you did it the first time. Okay, make sure that whatever material you're adding to it is not passing the feather edge. If it passes the feather edge, you have to cut it off so that everything is just around that feather edge. It's easier so that it doesn't throw off your pattern or whatever other thing that you are going to be doing, or your last thing, in fact. So yeah, again, after doing this, I'm going to cut the excess off, slip the ones that I want to slip on the last, and then going to start skiving. And then after skiving it, I am going to sand it down again. Basically, I just want it to be very, very flush on this last. And you can see now that I've sand everything down. You can see it's kind of smooth. Now I'm going to add to the bottom, okay, the back of the last, because now that I've gotten the vamp point I need, you can compare it. You can see that the sides they feel the fit here. You can see it except this back, so I'm going to add at the back too. And this is basically, you really don't need any measurements. What you need is to measure the fit, measure your last, so you know what you are adding. And as you are adding, with every addition, you need to also measure. And then I'm thinking if I should also add to the length, a lot to the length, because this last is just going to be on the toe and it is not going to be good. But basically, I have space at the back that I need to fill up. And now that I've done that, I haven't done the second one because I just want to make sure that you are able to see the difference between the two. I'm going to mark out the shape of this last on the foot. I know it is not yet there, but I just want you to see something, and I'm going to use it to explain further later on in the video. Okay, so I already drew out how I think the last should come out. So I also have a lot of space at the back that I need to fill up, and then I'm going to fill it up basically. Okay, so when I fill it up this time, I also have to fill it to the top. Okay, I also have to fill it to the top, and I just want to show you, if you need to fill it, you can see when I placed the last where I wanted it to be, I marked out where I needed to fill up, just the way you're saying, and then I went ahead to fill it up. I still have a little more space to fill up, I know, but I'm just going to take my time, which you should also do. Take your time. And the good thing about this is that you can easily pull off this thing, and there is no limit. You see this last, you can add as many layers as you want. Just keep adding, make sure it is within your calculation. Okay, and here is something that I want to show you. You can see the way this last is, that it is pointed, somewhat pointed. So when you wear or you make something with this last, your feet, your toes are kind of smushed together at the top there. And then you see this one without the modification, the toe is just at the point of the last. We don't want that because it's not going to fit. Okay, so when you are modifying this kind of last, you need to factor in, or when you're modifying any kind of last, you need to factor in the kind of shape that you are going for. Okay, so you can see this last, I added a little more points at the top. You can see I made it a little bit more pointier, but you can see how it is. Even with this drawing, you can see how the toes are going to be in the last. So like this, even if it is smushed together, it still will not be so painful. Do you understand what I mean? And this way, it will also fit. Okay, so that is why it is important for you to understand the shape that the shape of your last and the shape that you are going for. And I've basically just modified everything that I can possibly modify. Also, keep in mind that the way we drew out the feet with the way the pen was, the way we stood the pen, it is going to, we have a lot of allowance, which is fine. It is completely fine. Okay, it is completely fine. And you can see I also modified this last to have a little, like, it's more pointier, if that's correct, than the actual shape of the last, because that is what I want. This is based on the design that I want, which is why it is called modification. You can modify your last to look anyhow you like it, anyhow you want it. You can also go further to add to your instep. This is all dependent on what you want. You can go in, add to your instep. You can go without adding to that point. You see that point? You can just add around that area, and then the point still remains the same. Okay, I just added to the point there because I wanted it to be more pointier. And then you add to the side, you just keep adding. There is no limit. Now, you remember this point, this break that we spoke about a little bit about. So when you've sized up such a point, if you have it on your last, you're just going to trim out, not so much, you just trace out that mark so it is easier to break. Okay, you do it on both sides. You just trace out, give it a little bit of make a path for it, so that when you break the last, there is no obstruction. And then here's another thing that you should check. Because of the way we sand it down, to know that you have actually done a good job, when you put your leather on your last, make you notice that everything is smooth. You will not see bumps like I modified this last. Okay, you will not see bumps. So this is something you should also check out when you're modifying your last or sizing up. Make sure you sand everything down and smooth everything down. Okay, I really hope this video was useful to you, was helpful to you. If it was, please like this video, subscribe so I can make more videos. Thank you for watching.